All right, she's soaring in the polls, and as soon as that happens, you know the drill here, that they start scrutinizing everything you said and go back in history. That is happening to Carly Fiorina, and a lot of it over her stewardship of when Hewlett-Packard back in the early 2000s. Back then, we had just come after 9/11, and then there would be the significant swoon that we would call, well, the tech meltdown. Now, at the time, I was talking to her quite a bit, as I was in her days at Lucent and AT&T, but it was her stewardship of that company then and the criticism she was getting from others in the technology world then that became the focus of a lot of our interviews. Take a look.
My job is to do my job. My job is to post the numbers. But I think if people will get past the conventional wisdom and the tricky soundbite, which I'd love to be able to give a soundbite on Sam's business or Michael's, but if you get past the soundbites,
if you want to trash him here, you're welcome to.
Look at the numbers, look at the facts. The earnings growth, the top line growth, the cash flow from operations over $6 billion, the market share, the growth in market share. I'd say we're posting the numbers.
All right, that was then Carly Fiorina talking to me on this very network when she was running Hewlett-Packard about criticism she was getting, not on the political front, but from other high-tech CEOs, including the founders of Hewlett-Packard itself. Now, they have since come around to her, but I only point that out, that the thousands of layoffs, as our own Lizzie MacDonald pointed out, were going on rampant in the industry at that time. And it is easy to be a Monday morning quarterback and look at that compact merger, whether it delivered the goods. But, Lizzie, all I'm saying is a lot of companies went under then, and a lot of folks lost their jobs then. And you could make an argument that this wasn't an isolated incident. In other words, she was caught in a tsunami of high-tech selling.
Yeah, it was a ferocious downturn. I don't think any of the other GOP candidates can lay claim to what Carly Fiorina had to contend with running HP and trying to do a merger, execute a merger during a really terrible time in the U.S. economy. You're right, Sun Microsystems failed, Gateway failed, a number of other, Kmart went bankrupt. A number of companies were really having a tough go of it. Basically HP's stock trended down below where it was at in 1999, through that period. I'm talking 2001 through 2005, 2006.
But, she's going to pull that background, Lizzie, and say, yeah, I know what I was doing. Now we're showing the performance in the company stock during her stewardship, but it's been a bumpy ride. And doesn't, Meg Whitman know it now? She just announced 30,000 layoffs last week. So the pain
on top of 55,000 layoffs.
On top of 55,000.
Yeah, that's right. And so even Meg Whitman has said, cut Carly Fiorina some slack. She needed to do what she had to do to try to turn HP around. At that time, Big Blue was the big gorilla. IBM was the giant that they were all fighting against, also Unisys. So, Carly was trying to turn HP into one-stop shopping for all computer needs for all of corporate America. And she made really tough decisions. Yes, laying off 30,000 workers. The workforce, though, then grew to 150,000. Yes, very rocky period.
Well, that was a result of a merger, by and large, with a large company like Compaq, right?
Well, yes, and now it's struggling because it digested electronic data systems. So it had 320,000.
But she wasn't my only point, Liz, with that. I'm not an apologist for her or a critic of hers. That there were, what's that line? Extenuating circumstances and extenuating environment.
And let me make this is an important point. That stock got really slammed because remember when it bought Compaq, it was a stock swap. It was a $24 billion stock swap, HP buying Compaq. Right. To do that merger, it issued more than 1 billion shares to do that merger, boosting up its share count by 1/3. That wrecks the EPS results, and Wall Street started really slamming it. So, yeah, did they have a tough go of it? Yes. The profits went down and then went up under Mark Hurd. Mark Hurd, the CEO of HP, continued Carly Fiorina's strategy. It is now a Fortune 500 top 30 ranking today.
Very good point. And we will continue playing these bites in the interview chats that we had with her multiple times, multiple companies, over multiple years from those CEO days, long before she became this political rock star in the Republican Party, forever how long that lasts. But we thought we owed you a real look at a real period in real time every day.